What's good? We hope everyone had a great holiday. The boys are back. Lefty Podcast, Honora boys are in the building, and we're brought to you by Honora Whiskey. It is HonoraWhiskey.com, courtesy of Bleav Network, and we are presented by FanDuel. Now, if you go to FanDuel, you can find all of your line and prop bets for the quarterfinals of the college football playoff. But I am shocked. When I tell you I am shocked that in tomorrow night's matchup, Ohio State against Miami, that the Ohio State Buckeyes are favored by 9.5 points. Color me shocked.
Is the under or the over?
They're favored by 9.5 points, bro.
I'm gonna say, you think it should be more?
I think it should be less. I'm like neutral field, 6.5, a touchdown. Yeah.
You heard what Alvin Reese said. He said we came out here to get up out of here. We ain't trying to be down here long.
Oh man, you can find that and much more over at FanDuel.com. And if you continue to celebrate this holiday by enjoying some spirits, make sure that you do it
responsibly.
Let's get it, Lev. Lefty Podcast. I am Sean Davis, SD2 Mics. Is that dude, the original Lucky Lefty himself, MALIK ZAIRE. We are brought to you by Honora Whiskey, HonoraWhiskey.com. Courtesy of Bleav Network, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Tap in on the audio side. Episodes dropping each and every day. And we are presented by FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com or download the FanDuel app. First of all, it's good to have everybody back in here to talk some Notre Dame football. It's a lot to get to today left. Lincoln Riley running his mouth, and they just continue to lie and lie and lie. But once you lie, you have to continue to lie on top of the lie. So I guess that's what Jen Cohen and Lincoln Riley and
you travel a lot
fans, that's what they continue to do. Let them have at it, because according to them weeks ago, nobody wanted to talk about us, but they continue to find a way to talk about us.
Every day. What about TCU, the team you're playing?
Man.
Talk about Georgia Tech and BYU. Y'all talking about the end of the game. End of the game referencing Notre Dame.
We have to say goodbye and bid adieu to someone that their family has really given a lot to the University of Notre Dame. So we're going to talk about Donovan Hinish as he retires from football due to medical issues. And this game is tough, man. Playing this game, especially in the trenches, the wear and tear is absolutely tough. And I'm sure every Notre Dame fan tips a cap today to salute the efforts of one Donovan Heinish, who literally,
that's right.
When you hear the phrase left, they laid it all out on the field. They gave it all. That typifies what you would see from Donovan Heinish on a weekly basis. This is a young man that literally left it all out on the field.
Now, did he have a year left, or he
was going for a fifth year, but he just decided, nah, I can't do it anymore. And
man, it get like that when you get to the end of the year. You like think of all the stuff it take to get back to game one.
Man,
like, grief.
I can only imagine. It's been a long run, bro. They run all the way to the national championship. I think they had 10 days off, and they were right back after the national championship. The guys that were coming back were starting winter training 10 days after that. And then winter training right into spring football. Then spring football, they get a little bit of break after spring football. They're right back at it for fall camp into the season. So the wear and tear on the bodies of these young men, a much welcome rest. Much welcome rest. If you have a super chat, get it in. GTB questions, we're going to get to them early and put those in as well. We're going to start today. Of course, the news went out that, not shocking to me for several reasons. We'll get to it. But after much flirtation and flirting, flow of rumors, Marcus Freeman was announced to be returning as the head coach, the Dick Corbett head coach of the Fighting Irish of the University of Notre Dame.
Big surprise.
I think a lot of people. Well, Left, you go ahead and talk about how you felt about the situation.
I mean, it's simple. I just think that if you're getting this much attention, you might as well let a press release to everybody. But you always got to think about leverage. Maybe your leverage is continuing to say that my value is high to these different organizations. And the way Notre Dame has to look at it is he's a hot commodity that needs to be tied down with a little bit of green. So, of course, he's coming back because he knows what he has, a top 3 program that he put a number 2 recruiting class, championship appearance, unfinished business to have. But it's also good to keep that door open. Maybe there's some extra dollars laying around. I saw how y'all handsomely paid Brian Kelly for 10 years, and I see how the market is going, and I'm top 3. I'm in New York, Good Morning America, hanging out. Me on mute.
The situation for me, Left, when I looked at it, a lot of people were nervous, especially as news continued to flow and Notre Dame took the stance really not to say anything. Pete Bavacqua was very straightforward when he met with the media, and he said, look, Marcus Freeman is going to be one of the highest paid coaches in all of college football as long as
what did he say? Say it again. Highest paid what? From Dayton? He said he's a guy from Dayton is going to be the highest paid.
He said there would be no problem making sure that Marcus Freeman is one of the highest paid coaches in college football.
Yeah. So
that's, in my opinion, that was Notre Dame letting Marcus Freeman know money is not an issue.
He said, listen. He said, money? Oh no, we're made of money. We the checkbook is blank right now, Mr. Marcus Freeman. You don't need to go chase money if that was on the table, because there's a lot of green on this table. You can only get
Yeah, bro. I mean, and that has to ease any tension, right? Money's not an issue. Now, if you just want the challenge of going to the NFL, you're upset, because we can, let's be honest, chat, join in. I'll keep it a buck, man. It's hard to be a head coach at Notre Dame. As much as the unique,
absolutely,
as much as it's a draw to the uniqueness of Notre Dame and its independence, at certain times it could be a frustration. I'm sure Marcus Freeman, in his downtime after the final rankings were released, went to his office and said, man, they screwed us. My players and I, we got screwed because of independence. He probably had that thought. Now, it still comes back to the fact that they didn't handle their business when they had the opportunity. But you look at the situation, right? And you say to yourself, and I think you pointed it out, Left, knowing the team he has coming back, knowing the recruiting class he has coming in, and knowing that the money issue was already spoken about publicly, it was really no viable reason to leave, unless he just wanted the challenge of going to the NFL, unless that was just something he wanted to do. Now, if that was something he wanted to do, none of that matters.
Right, and that's the thing. It's like, well, Marcus Freeman, you're in a unique position where the world is your oyster in the college football world. And at this point, if you're the ultimate football coach, the Notre Dame football coaching position, the head coaching spot is the premier position. If you're a coach's coach, a coach's guy, you want to be the face of college football coaching, that's the destination. So anywhere less than that is not a challenge. It's just you're taking a step down because you're going to have all the spotlight as a head coach of Notre Dame. And it's a matter of a high-performing position where it's not a long-spanning thing. It's not something he's going to die in the chair of. This is a high-performance 10 years, 8 years, get as much as you can, and the next step is wherever it is. I don't think this is a a burial place for Marcus Freeman's coaching career, but it's high performing in the years that he has his youth. This is a prime time for Marcus Freeman. As much as they get on his hair, it's still looking good. He ain't got to throw the hat on just yet.
Let's keep it a buck though, Left. Notre Dame is a very, very difficult place to be a head coach. It is unlike any other place, right? It is a place of honor. It is a STEMI, as you frequently say, but it is very humbling. Even though you are the head coach of Notre Dame, man, you don't hold the same power as head coaches at places like LSU, Alabama, and other blue bloods. We know the power structure at a university like Notre Dame. We know the power structure. Heck, Lou Holtz was darn near God to the Notre Dame fan base. And he tried to fight and win a power struggle. And he lost.
It's not, like I said, it's not one of those places where you're making a whole career out of Notre Dame specifically due to the things you deal with. But those things that you deal with usually prime you for your next position where it's generally more open. I mean, from player standpoint to coach's standpoint, you get a breath of fresh air stepping away from Notre Dame, but in a elevated position at wherever you're going to, because the same challenges don't exist everywhere. It even works for guys transferring into Notre Dame. You hear Hart's position on when he came from Oklahoma State. He said in the 6 months I was there, I was doing things so disciplined and organized that it was different than the 4 years that I was at my other school. So I think those are the years that you really develop under pressure, and then you take that next step somewhere else. But the challenge is at Notre Dame. I mean, a guy like Marcus Freeman and the way he coaches and the way he is a great fit. And I think that's why he wants to stay in that pocket at Notre Dame because, it has its cons, it has its obstacles and its restrictions. But that's Marcus Freeman's personality. He lives on a straight line. The man got 6 kids, so the man got to have his ducks in a row. There's a lot of things that he probably wants to do but can't do, but that's his life.
Yeah.
He got a wife and 6 kids. He's probably a bunch of things he probably want to do when he go home that he can't. He got to go be dad and coach at home. So I think the Notre Dame lifestyle as the head coach fits his own lifestyle as a coach and as a person. Just being on time, timely, professional, he gonna show up and he's always on. Now, obviously, like you said, that doesn't last forever. There's gonna be a time where he's winding down and wants to take not so much of a lesser position, but you don't want to always exist in that spotlight. Right now, he's built it up. You're not gonna walk away or be in a Mark Jackson position where you're going to let Steve Kerr go in there and just eat up them great dynasty years that you put together. And at the same time, why would he? Like you said, this is a top 3 program that he's had a humongous hand in orchestrating on the football side. And then Pete Bavacqua and the crew has been doing their thing on the AD level. And so you have a great relationship between the top people and the people in your building. And that's a rarity to have at a D1 program, let alone a true blood or whatever. Because even the best programs, as you can tell, Michigan is a dumpster fire. And so that's people probably jumping off the boat trying to get off of that ship, whereas, and that's a top 5 college football historic program. So to be able to manage what he's doing and stand in that pocket, I wouldn't leave until the coals get cold. But it's hot right now. And you got a lot of things pulling at you, but shoot, Jackson Dart ain't pulling that hard. I just saw them Giants play the other day. Not encouraged. Not encouraged. So I mean, it ain't like he got tons of riches that are necessarily, in my opinion, more attractive. I just don't think he's looking at anything as like this is more attractive than what I'm at. And I don't even think it's a money thing. If anything, like I said earlier, that the Notre Dame putting that out there just was a leverage thing, in my opinion, because he's like, I know I'm gonna tease like I'm going, but I ain't going nowhere. But if you're gonna open up that bank a little bit more, now I mean, shoot, I I wasn't going nowhere, but if we talking like that, then shoot, I kick my feet up a little bit because I heard he just got an extension. You know what I mean? So, well, he on his Kurt Cinetti right now. He just getting cashed out in a short amount of time. You know what I mean? Well, Kurt Cinetti made what, $100 million in 2 years, 3 years of being at IU.
No, it's not that much. He just got the re-up, but
yeah, I mean, he was making more. Yeah, so I think this is
put like this. He got a hell of a contract.
Yeah, he's well taken. I mean, the state of Indiana got some money. It's just showing you right there. IU got some money. Notre Dame got some money. So it's not a dumpster fire over at Notre Dame, which I think the biggest thing Marcus Freeman is thinking is this is job security. Obviously, it's high stakes and all that, but from a security standpoint, and he's thinking in the future, he's got a good 4 secured years, provided no major crazy scandal. But that's just not who he is. You know what I mean? So I think he's got 4 years in his mind where he's like, I ain't going nowhere. They couldn't make me leave. And then in that 4 years, he's hoping he can grab one. If he grab one in those 4, now he really running things. You know what I mean? Now do I step away? Do I keep going? Do I get $100 million out of this place? Whatever. But I think I wouldn't even care about what the outsiders are saying because the people in the building are happy with it. And that's a rarity. People, we had a guy in the building for 10 years and they wasn't necessarily too happy towards the end, but
yeah,
you're in a good spot where everybody, now that's a paranoid place to be when everything's just going too good. Everything going pretty good right now, so I do think it's something Marcus Freeman is like, man, listen, I just need to get one. And out of all the coaches in the last 30 years, I feel like he's the closest to actually doing it.
Let me ask you a question. Because if he was thinking about what he has coming back, I have thought about this a lot over the holiday. Once again, Lefty Podcast, Shaun Davis, MALIK, ZAIRE. We spin it different. You know how championship teams, you just have a team in a year where it just comes all together.
Yeah.
Everything comes together. Do you think that was this 25 team?
No, I don't think it all came together in 25. I just think this is stages in the window in which Marcus Freeman has put the program in a position to win. So I think 25 is just another year in the window. Last year was another year in the window. I think this year will be his most challenging year, but it's still the talent and everything from the top organization in the building is still good enough to get there. But this will be the most challenging year coaching on the field for Marcus Freeman.
See, this is why I asked you that question, Left, because I just don't know, man. I thought everything actually was aligning for this team. The 2-year journey. I thought this team was becoming a better team going into the playoff if they had made it than last year's team was going into the playoff. That's just what I really believe. And I felt like if they had the opportunity to go into the playoff, especially if they're going on the road to face Oklahoma, and then Indiana would have been their quarterfinal matchup, I was like, yo, this could be one of those magical years where you get that opportunity to face Ohio State and finally get over the hump, right? But like you said, ultimately, the stars weren't aligned and it didn't go that way. But I think it's fair for people to look back at this 2025 team and wonder if, right? Because it's rare, bro. You just don't get 2 home run hitters at running back. That's rare, bro.
Yeah, you don't, and then you match that with a nice O line. I mean, come on, now Notre Dame's been known to have a good running game, but I just think that the tier of running back we had was definitely an ingredient for a championship. And like you said, I don't think Marcus Freeman can even look at this season and think, "Oh, we coulda, shoulda," only because under the circumstances that you had, you didn't know what you had first 2 games.
Yeah.
Now, if we lost these same 2 games, the last 2 games of the season, now there's a ton to reflect on. Now it's okay, we coulda, shoulda, did this. But in the first game, come on, dude. We lost it by 3 points. We didn't know Miami was going to be where they at. It was a lot of unknowns. We similarly coaching like how the Oklahoma State game was. Excited about what was happening, excited about what was going on. Things were in place, but you just didn't know what you had. So Marcus Freeman looking back on this season, yeah, we coulda, shoulda in the first 2 games, but that is least consequential compared to the last 2 games if we were to lose. Because then it's like, okay, we knew who we was and we were slipping. Can we say we were slipping the first 2 games? We actually played good. Yeah, it was surprising that they were this close and we played in spots, but I mean, are we hanging our heads over those first 2 games? Like, I don't know. So I wouldn't take it necessarily as a loss. And also due to because all the circumstances included. If you're grading your season, you've only gotten better. You ended the season with a win. You're in the playoffs for 7 weeks straight. And then you drop out when you wake up in the middle of the night. I mean, and then you get all the fallout, like you getting backdoor dealed and just it's a mess. But that's nothing to say, oh, we have to go in with T-shirts that say they don't believe in us or nothing. No, we just need to stay on course because we're still a good team. And if anything, this is the most challenging year. Again, I say this because there's a lot of different pieces that need to be filled that we believe can be. But this is a season that is strictly relying on CJ Carr's greatness. Strictly. The team's success is strictly put on the shoulders of CJ. This is what I call the season of expectation. So last year it was CJ, don't lose the game. We got 2 All-American running backs. Just don't lose it. This year is CJ. We need you to win the game with pieces, but teams are thinking, I'm stopping CJ. Yeah, they can run the ball, but the threat is CJ. We don't know who else they got, but CJ's got to be at a Heisman level. That's where this position is positioned to be. I mean, there's no other excuse. He has to be the engine, the reason why LeBron 2018 season 40 and 20 and 20. It's got to be because we got a bunch of good players. We don't have a Jeremiah Love player. Hell, we don't got a Jadarian. Hell, we don't got a Malachi. Hell, we don't got an Eli Raridon or a Emil Wagner or a Billy Shroud. But we have pieces. So it's not like we got to be like, oh, CJ has no receivers to throw to. And no.
Yeah. The sale starts January 2nd. The sale begins January 2nd.
Right. But CJ has to take the ownership of the offense and make guys good. I've always told you his best trait is that good guys around other good guys, he can be good. He has to evolve into he make other guys better. Now, all them deep throws where you just throw to MALIK and he's one-handed and 50-50 ball, you got to be more accurate. You got to be more accurate. You got to throw guys open. You got to train receivers. You got to take the full off season and get with these guys. Yes, they're talented, but you can't rely on the transfer in your second year of mastering offense because it's different when Denbrock's calling plays to get you comfortable. Now we calling plays that you're good at because we got to win through you.
Yeah, yeah.
So your mindset got to be different. It ain't no, all right, CJ, we're going to start you nice and soft, throw it up to MALIK one-on-one because we got all these other things that take the distraction off you. They're going to be like, CJ, you're going to have to throw for 300.
You know what, Left? You know what I'm going to be interested in watching? And I want to reference your boy Sunshine down there in Jacksonville.
Now, you know he's on all-star MVP level right now.
He is.
You know he's on all-star MVP level right now.
But you know what, Left? There's something about no matter where you went or what level you were elevated to, you were always better than everybody else. And then you get to the NFL level and you recognize, yo, I'm not the best dude on the field. Like, that's a shock to the system. Like, wait a minute. I'm just not the best because I'm here. I actually have to work to become the best. And I think Trevor Lawrence had to go through some ups and downs of like realizing, like,
yeah, when you realize
I have to work to get it.
Yeah, I gotta do more, you know, and it's always a click that happens when, you know, it's always a realization. It's never you really understand it until you go out there and you're like, dang, I got to think a little different on this third down. I got this young guy that's hit or miss still. He's still getting his feet wet. I got to think bigger than I just got to throw it the go route downfield. I got to maybe pick it up with my legs. There is no turn the ball and hand it off. I got to actually get 8 plays down the field. He's looked comfortable managing situations. Okay, we running right, we're going to flip it to the left. Oh, we got to run here. We can do a little check here, throw it out. That's good. You have to build on that because now it's about what is CJ good at and what is CJ's way of playing. Because who else are we going to rely on? This is year 2 for your quarterback. Marcus Freeman has a ton of expectations and a lot is riding on it considering how you played it out. You nominated this kid as the future main character of your movie last year or this past season when you took him over Kenny. You're saying he's going to be the next thing, just like when Trevor Lawrence was put over Kelly Bryant. That next season, what did Trevor Lawrence do? Go to the championship. Now, Trevor Lawrence had pieces. The difference when he got to Jacksonville, he ain't had no pieces.
He had a lot of pieces at Clemson.
Yeah, he went to Jacksonville. It was like, dang, these pieces ain't the same pieces. So I have to go through what it's like to learn how to win. It's easy to win when you got all the ingredients. I'll be watching that Culture War show where they be cooking on Netflix. And the dude he's a beast, man. He went in there and they was competing against the other team. He went in there and took all the vegetables and all the ingredients first. He ain't even everybody's trying to plan what they want to cook. He just took all the vegetables. He said the most important thing is the ingredients. We got the ingredients. Marcus Freeman got the best tomatoes, the freshest fish, the unique spices, herbs, and flavors. Got a lot of it. But he got a chef that just got into the spot. He got to find his original dish. What is CJ going to make? Marcus Freeman said, I put it all out there for you. I done kicked the one chef out.
I like that. What dish is he going to make to beat Bobby Flay?
Yeah, beat Bobby Flay.
How is he going to beat Bobby Flay? I feel
beat Ju Wong Swong. You know, that was a real one on the show. Ju Wong Swong, he was like the top guy. And that's the thing, is because CJ doesn't have the luxury of just being like, I can hand it off. I can throw it there, and I'm guaranteed to get out of jams that way. He's got to reorganize his toolbox on how he can be effective, considering the things that we saw are limitations for CJ. If he get outside that pocket, it gets kind of ugly. He's not the most evasive quarterback in the pocket or outside the pocket. So he's got to find how to get better in that aspect. And that's a learning process. But who's going to be his guys? He's literally through to all the guys and guys that block for him, guys he handed it off to, even in too deep in some cases, are all gone. All your friends left. All the guys that you could lean on being a younger guy can lean on a Jeremiah. Look at how great that is. Your first year starting, you nervous as hell. It's Notre Dame quarterback. You done got to competition so deep that you don't even know what you don't know going into the season. But guess what? You turn to your right, you got Jeremiah Love standing there. I ain't worried about too much. What you throw a swing pass? Oh, throw a one-on-one post? Oh, now he looked to his right. You got a hungry guy in Aeneas Williams. A lot of potential, but we ain't seen him more than 3 quarters. We ain't seen Nolan James more than 3 quarters. Jack Larson out there, guys are going to be nervous around him. See, that's different. He was nervous around the other dudes that been doing it. Now the other dude's going to be nervous, and CJ got to be like, all right, trust me, I got you. Because I've been here before. Jordan Faison far from the football. He out there in the slot, outside wide. I can't, ain't much talking he can do. I got to go in there and be a true conductor of the offense because Aeneas Williams got the block. Aeneas Williams going to mess up on some stuff. You dealing with, Love who never fumbled. When
was the last time he fumbled?
Never. You dealing with Malachi Fields, who, you throw it his side, it's coming down with it 70% of the time.
Yeah.
I mean, if we just playing percentages, you had a lot of favor. Now you got an Elijah Burris or Michael Gilbert, guys who haven't been healthy. Cam Williams, who ain't seen much action yet. Will Black getting the full-time go. Center, you got to find a center. I mean, it's a way bigger of a challenge this year, particularly because of our situation, than ever it was this year. This year was just, like we said, it wasn't about the quarterback. This year is about the quarterback.
Oh, facts.
And he played too good. The thing is, CJ done played too good. They done hyped him up too much. He done let the cat out the bag. He done showed too much, set the bar too high for us to think, oh, he can get away with some of these excuses. No. You are Heisman watch. Game 1. Who are your X factors around you? I mean, you're going to have to know how to prepare for some football games. Because then in the room, who you got in the room? Everybody's gone. They said, what, Tyler Buckner? He trying to apply for a 10th year?
No, I don't think so.
You got a bunch of babies in the room and you're still a baby. You got the Teddy Gerard coming in. He a baby. Toby Gerhardt. Oh, that's not his name.
Not Toby Gerhardt. Blake Herbert.
Blake Herbert.
Yeah, the quarterback room definitely got young.
Super big. Yeah, Gino back on the hot seat now. Unless we get one of these millions of transfer quarterbacks. I mean, my goodness, but you dang near can't even take a transfer because you got your guy. So your transfer can't be necessarily better. I mean,
unless
give me with a great stuff.
The only way you could attract a quarterback is if you tell them, look, we don't know about the guys developing behind him, and he's going to the draft next year. If you feel that confident that CJ is going to kill,
yeah, that's the only way you can sell it.
That's the only way you can sell it. That's the only way you can sell it. And it's no, in my opinion,
and he'll be a fool to buy it because he need another year.
Because if you need to, you could just go to the portal next offseason. If you have to go find somebody to come in and battle for the quarterback situation, then you can just go to the portal next offseason. But you need a viable backup behind CJ. You need a backup behind CJ.
Yeah, but how you going to do it in this climate? None of these transfer portal dudes looking to sit the bench at all. All these dudes are starters. Most of the dudes are starters that are leaving. So Sam Levitt going to come? No.
Yeah.
Kenny Minchie was damn near the best. We might have to get him out the portal. Re-recruiting. Seriously, re-recruiting.
I don't think that's happening. But, from conversations.
Tyler Buckner did it. Tyler Buckner did it.
Yeah, after a failed experiment at Alabama,
Caden Proctor did it. I mean, these guys that do it.
I just don't foresee that happening, bro.
Man, because think about it. Right now, you jump in that portal, you don't know if you're getting out. So
the offers are pretty good right now. I'll just leave it at that.
Oh, for Kenny? Oh, yeah, Kenny gonna be all right. I'm just saying, are they gonna be better than Notre Dame?
Shoot. He's a backup in Notre Dame, so I would say yes, they're better than Notre Dame. Yeah, of course they are. Lucky Lefty Podcast. I will say this: the funniest thing as we get ready to close the door on Marcus Freeman returning to Notre Dame is the show Up and Adams with Kate Adams, Golden Tate, Notre Dame legendary wide receiver, was who also a longtime New York Giant, and he basically was thinking about Marcus Freeman going to the Giants, and he was like, "Hell to the no." Like, man, I tell Marcus Freeman, hell to the no. You don't want to come up here. Don't stay right there in South Bend.
All right,
Stay right there in South Bend. Lucky Lefty Podcast. So, Lucky Lefty Podcast, presented by FanDuel, FanDuel.com. Go download the FanDuel app. And as we said before, tomorrow night's matchup between the Miami Hurricanes and Ohio State Buckeyes is going to be a fantastic matchup, in my opinion. But the bettors seem to think that it might be a blowout because Ohio State has been installed as 9.5-point favorites. Am I shocked? Yes, I'm a little bit shocked. That number is about a field goal more than I thought it would be. But we'll see how things go. You can get all of that and much more for your lines and your prop bets for the quarterfinals of the college football playoff over at FanDuel. FanDuel.com. Download the FanDuel app. Man, look. I don't understand what the issue is, bro. I just don't. USC media, fans, administration, head coach, they're just triggered by Notre Dame, bro. I don't understand why they continue to have Notre Dame in their mouth. Like, wipe your mouth. You're drooling. Wipe your mouth. Wipe the size of your mouth.
They need is really bad.
Wipe the size of your mouth, USC fans, media, head coach, AD.
So what y'all want us to come out with a diss track?
What is your fascination with Notre Dame? What? Today, press conference for the bowl game. Head coach Lincoln Riley. Like, what? Why?
Vocal about the fact that they would play us anytime, anywhere. And obviously them not having a conference affiliation gives them an ability to be pretty flexible with their scheduling. We went back, Jen Cohen, our AD, went back to Notre Dame roughly a couple of weeks ago with a scenario and a proposal that would extend the series for the next 2 years. We took Notre Dame at their word that they would play us anytime, anywhere. That proposal was rejected. Not only was it rejected, 5 minutes after we got the call, it was announced that they had scheduled another opponent, which I'll give them credit. That might be the fastest scheduling act in college football history. So I know there's been a lot of back and forth on it. I know college football has changed a lot, but the fact is very, very clear, and this can all be settled very quickly. Had Notre Dame lived up to their word and played us anytime, anywhere, we would be playing them the next 2 years and looking ahead after that and hopefully continuing the series. They did not follow through on it. Thus, we are not playing them the next couple of years. We're hopeful something can be worked out in the future. That'd be fantastic. We at SC would love for the game to continue, and we have no problem following through on our promises in the future.
Go ahead, Lef. I don't like liars like that. Bro. Look, it's embarrassing, man.
It's super
embarrassing. And I don't understand U.S. media going so hard for a dude that they don't even believe in.
Yeah.
You don't even believe in him as a head coach right now. You don't even believe that he's the head coach to lead you back to prominence. You don't even believe that. But you want to beat your chest and stand on this mountaintop.
Yeah.
Screaming that Notre Dame ran from the rivalry.
Seriously, like y'all going so hard to make sure people have the idea that it was us, the team, that's been 8-2 in the last 10 matchups, where Jeremiah Love ran into the end zone and showed you how we were treating y'all the last 10 years in this rivalry. That same team somehow is running because of what? What would we run from? You want us to have bad business practices. And this is why we have to continually teach teams over and over again is that we're not in a conference for a reason. Because we are business partners. You don't just sit there and try to stiff or strong arm us into these deals that are just bad business and doesn't make sense. Okay, you throw an offer out there like any business acumen person would tell you, or person with business acumen would tell you. You don't take the first deal. Y'all come out here with this goofy offer. Hey, let's play week 0. Matter of fact, let's do a joint practice in the spring and then just play the spring game together and the exhibition in Mexico. Notre Dame's like, yeah, you're absolutely right, Lincoln Riley. Within the first 5 minutes, a real business person would say, you guys aren't serious, and probably hang up the phone. That same speed was how fast we picked up the other phone and called BYU. We was over here battling on different fronts. We battling TV and ESPN and Pop-Tarts. And then we dealing with y'all. Oh, y'all want to play? Okay, we go over here. But even before that, it's just the fact that what would be our reason to duck out of the competition? Because we said wherever, whenever. Okay, what about a negotiation? What about a reason why? I feel like if y'all were just to be good stewards and just tell us, hey, guys, look, we're in the Big Ten, probably a bad matchup for us to be in this conference anyway, but let alone feel confident that we can win a game in the Midwest, that we want to add a superpower at the end of what we keep calling a gauntlet. None of those teams in that gauntlet are better than Notre Dame, except maybe Ohio State. So what is it that y'all don't want to prove? How do y'all want to sneak into the playoffs until y'all run into us in the playoffs? I don't understand. What if the first round is Notre Dame? Then what? All this crying about we running and this and that, I don't understand. So it's like, okay, you guys want to some so-called struggle in this gauntlet. Are you saying you're not going to make it out of the gauntlet and then you don't want us to finish you guys off? I don't understand. Ohio State plays Michigan every year, same date, same locations, same time, early in the day, noon. They only play that night maybe once, twice? It don't matter if they number 1, number 0, number 100. They're playing at the end of the season. That's a real rivalry. Michigan didn't back out of that rivalry. Michigan said, you know what? We're going to cheat. We're just going to cheat. We can't beat you in 10 years, Ohio State. We're not going to run. We are just going to cheat our butts off. And they cheated their way to a championship. They cheated their way so bad that it threw the algorithm off, and then they start winning. It's crazy. They did whatever it took except run away. So my whole thing is, why is it that y'all want to give us these crazy specific details? We said week 1 through 12, okay, we can talk about it. I don't know why we want to move off of our seasonal thing anyway, but whatever. Y'all talking about week 0, and then we said 0 through 4, and it's like, what are we doing? Because now, business-minded, Notre Dame is like, well, we got to check with our partners. We have to actually, think of this deal and see if it's conducive. Y'all didn't even care if it was conducive for us or not. Y'all just said, here, we're going to give y'all something that if y'all refuse, we can run with it. That's not good business practice. If y'all really wanted to play us, y'all would at least negotiate. Y'all just saying we can do these dates or that's it. That's crazy. Because y'all not that good to be talking about when y'all can play us and this and that. First of all, y'all don't have no problem with Fresno and the Raging Cajuns being on there every year. That's a solid week 2, week 1. That ain't moving. That's unchanged, unfixed. Y'all don't want to do nothing with those 2 games at all. Y'all want to put us in the spring game exhibition. But them Raging Cajuns, them boys got to stay on there. Fresno, the little pit bulls, y'all beat the Smithereens every year. They got to stay on there. Where's the softball for Notre Dame? Where? I just see a bunch of teams that are solid. I mean, they're not the greatest teams, but they're not the Raging Cajuns. So my whole thing is USC, stop. Why don't y'all focus on the bowl game y'all chose to play? I don't understand why y'all can't talk about TCU. That's what y'all playing. We are in Cancun. We got the Pop-Tarts, can't stop talking about us. Y'all at the Alamo Bowl, can't stop talking about us. What do y'all want? We are making bigger news, giving y'all obvious news. Marcus Freeman said, I'm coming back. That made more news than you up there yapping about us at your bowl game. So clearly y'all miss us. Y'all made a mistake, and y'all have remorse or guilt that y'all chose these weak games instead of putting Notre Dame in there, that y'all like, we forgot that if we got them out of the playoffs, what's going to be our news? What's going to be the news cycle dominating college sports if Notre Dame is not in? Because we can't keep talking about James Madison. That's a flash in the pan. That's here today, gone tomorrow. They lost or whatever. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares. Y'all want to care about a coach that is enjoying time with his family. That this man had to tweet out to y'all and say, call the dogs off. Y'all know I'm coming back. Y'all done put fake pictures of the man in New York. Y'all done photoshopped the man on the plane. Y'all done for a guy on a team that y'all call irrelevant and terrible and don't play
crashing out all your coaches in Cancun. All your coach is back in New York, getting pictures from when he was in New York for the Heisman ceremony. Oh, he's talking to the Giants. Like
y'all photoshopping him with different clothes on.
It's
like,
crazy. Just crazy.
And then it's a weird turn where y'all start talking about him. Now y'all want to say his hairline is this and that. Dang. Y'all go from love to hate real quick. Y'all go from loving the man to now y'all got to talk about the man hairline and all type of other stuff. So I just feel like Notre Dame has to be the most cared about team in college sports. We got TV shows, other conferences, so-called amazing sports journalists. We 2-3 weeks in the playoffs, man. I might as well put us in if y'all keep talking to us. I just don't like the inconsistencies and the hypocrites that are bashing us when they say that we're crybaby and we're waning for attention. What attention is Notre Dame waiting for? We just gave you our decisions on things, said we didn't feel like it was right, and did business. We're not out here making statements to say, oh, we should have been in the like, oh, USC is this and that, and oh, they just hating on us. We haven't said anything. We just been calling y'all phone in the background, being like, hey, y'all need to take that down. Before we get what Snoop Dogg say? Before we get violent. Business, not physical. We gonna mess you up in this business streets. That's how we play. But I guess everybody ain't the same. That's what happens when you share money. You get these weird tactics where you gotta lie and hope your big brother saves you and all this conference tactics. It's hard to strong arm a team that's not in the conference, clearly. And that's why y'all get mad.
See, the reason it's hard for USC, Jen Cohen, and Lincoln Riley to understand, and the ACC, and Mr. Yormack in the Big 12, they're so loud and sloppy the way they handle business that they don't understand when I say that Notre Dame are the gangsters of college football, and real gangsters move in silence. See, Lincoln Riley is so arrogant that he can't even get his story straight. What's the story? You guys came off of the agreement that you had when you learned about the memorandum of understanding? Because that's what was reported. Or you went back to Notre Dame with an offer based upon them saying they would play us anywhere, anytime. Get your story straight. Which one is it? Let us know so we can rightfully divide your word of truth if there's any truth in you. Because it doesn't seem like there's not a bit of truth in you or Jennifer Cohen or USC media for that point. The truth does not reside in any of you at this point because you can't get your story straight. So which one is it? And stop counting Notre Dame's pockets. You're like the cousin that comes to ask for money and says, loan me $500. I know you got it. Okay, if I have it, it's my money. It's not your money. It is not your business what I do with what I have. So what? Notre Dame has flexibility because of their independence. That's not yours. That flexibility doesn't belong to you. You don't get to tell Notre Dame how to use their flexibility and their independence. You don't get to do that. You don't get to say, well, you got flexibility, so you should do it this way. No, that's not how it works. It's not your flexibility. Stop counting Notre Dame's pockets. Stop counting their pockets. Because you wish you had the same flexibility. It's amazing. It is absolutely amazing that now you feel this way about Notre Dame because they're flat out beating the crap out of you every year.
Flat out.
Because if this was the Pete Carroll era,
you would never
where you would dominate Notre Dame, you would want Notre Dame on the schedule. You would flat out want Notre Dame on the schedule.
Flat out.
But now, since Notre Dame, first under Brian Kelly, and now they've extended the dominance under Marcus Freeman. Now, you were looking for the quickest off-ramp. Where can I get off? Where can I get off? Because
you want to start
part
the story. You want to start the story at we went to negotiate a game early, but you never started the story at why. Why are y'all trying to renegotiate this game early? Or y'all say it's because of this gauntlet or because of these rule changes y'all didn't know. Just say because y'all tired of losing and it messes up y'all season. Let's just say that and we can move on. Y'all got all this mystery because, like you said, SD, when you lie, you got to keep lying and start saying things and nobody was asking. Nobody was asking that.
And on top of that, Left, instead of counting our money or counting our flexibility and trying to tell us what we need to do with our independence
Seriously.
and our flexibility, then you have the nerve to say, wait a minute, this is where you have to get your story straight. Because indeed, if you went back to Notre Dame with an offer, that means during the time that led up to that or that preceded that, Notre Dame was in limbo about what was going to happen with the rival. Correct me, Left. Correct me. If I'm waiting for you to make an offer, I don't know if you're going to make an offer or if I'm going to like the offer.
Right. We waiting on you.
I would be stupid not to pursue other options just in case I don't like your offer or you never make an offer. So
because we're not waiting on you.
So now you're trying to know, yes, you're trying to throw Notre Dame, Pete Bavacco under the bus because they were having conversations that honestly might not have had anything to do with USC. The conversations with BYU might have been based around what took place with them backing out of the bowl game when they were supposed to face BYU, and they already knew that they owed BYU a home game from the previous series that they did not fulfill. But you're arrogant enough, USC, Lincoln Riley, to think that the BYU conversation was centered around USC. You're arrogant enough to believe that.
I never saw him schedule a game that fast. We wasn't waiting for you. We wasn't thinking like y'all ruling our way.
Exactly. So
we had options. Yeah. We
were supposed to wait on you?
Yeah.
That's what Notre Dame was supposed to do as an independent?
Yeah.
You said they're an independent with flexibility. If they're an independent with flexibility, that means doing good business would be not to wait on somebody that is bound to a conference. Go and do your due diligence as an independent with flexibility to make sure that you have other viable options.
All bases covered.
Absolutely. The very thing that you're accusing Notre Dame of literally obliterates what you're trying to blame Notre Dame for or accuse Notre Dame of. You're dumb. Not only are you liars, but you're dumb. You're dumb. The way you've gone about this is absolutely dumb. Nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense. What are we talking about? Now you're just trolling. They're trying to be 50 Cent now. That's what they're trying to 50 Cent Notre Dame. And they think Notre Dame is Ja Rule. That's what they think, love. They think they're about the 50 Cent. They think they're about the Ja Rule Notre Dame. It's not going to happen. It's not happening. What you should do is just hush. Try that on for size. Just hush. Just flat out hush. And let things fade away. Because you continue to look stupid and you're going to look even dumber if you lose in the Alamo Bowl. If you get trounced by TCU, first of all, your defensive coordinator just left you. You just lost your defensive coordinator. You literally just lost your DC. He said bye-bye. Everything's supposed to be getting better. Your best defensive tackle on your squad, and you couldn't even stop the run. He said bye-bye. Everything's crumbling around you, but you continue to have Notre Dame in your mouth. Wipe the size in your mouth, man.
Yeah, it's like, what's the point of throwing the shade?
Yeah,
You already moved on. They wanted us to be hurt so bad. That's why he brought it up. He wanted us to be assed out, strung out on this whole back and forth, and y'all were hurt that we wasn't hurt by it. It took us, you said, oh, okay, y'all playing, we're going to go ahead and do our business, and now y'all caught off guard. That's the fastest I've ever seen in school. Yeah, it's the fastest because y'all thought y'all had us. Y'all thought y'all was going to try to set a trend where they freeze us out and everybody's going to catch on and y'all going to show us how it's done and y'all going to make us bend knee to what y'all want. You are mentioning all the things you're insecure about. Oh, they're independent. They got a schedule. Oh, so you start picking out what y'all liked about our independence. Oh, this looks good around 1 week 0 through 4. They ain't doing nothing. We could just tell them the schedule is here. I mean, what are we talking about? Y'all just free to pick a date because y'all want to? Oh, because we don't get the mandated 9-game slate that y'all get. So y'all want to pick our schedule because y'all's get chosen for you. And see, that's not good business. Like you said, we had to get our options in a row because guess what? We can't rely on the Big Ten to throw us games if we're not doing good business independently. And the other thing is, you also see how fast other teams pick up the phone. We was just saying, hey, BYU, we got this USC thing we dealing with, but could you be on standby for us if this thing falls through? And guess what they said? Absolutely. We don't care about the Pop-Tart Bowl. We see the bigger picture with you guys. We'll wait. They waited. BYU waited. We aren't waiting on y'all. That's the difference. Y'all try to treat us like BYU. Hey, y'all sit here in the tuck, and if we feel like it, we'll come back. No. We treat teams like that. That's why when y'all played, we got right. We said, okay, hey, BYU, we good. We'll send a check over. We'll send a check over. We good. That quick. And it's funny because they agreed to it. They didn't sit there and say, okay, well, let us go back and talk about it. And no, they said, okay, is it good? Okay, the ink's dry. Is the ink dry? Yeah, go ahead and sign that thing. We send a DocuSign. People Vodka said, send a DocuSign. We get that thing over quick. So our whole thing is, this is another example of gangsters move in silence. We don't need to chat about the moves or try to persuade the audience with a veil of lies and deception. We just keep it business. And look at that. Y'all looking for a game and we suited and booted for the next season. We'll revisit it if our schedule opens up. But you're not about to be telling us, oh, y'all free and independent, so let me pick a date that I want. No, that's not how the business works. We can talk about it. But y'all over here saying, y'all run into the blogs. Y'all run into the media and your sports writers. Oh, Notre Dame ran. Anybody in college football that's a real football fan will see this outside looking in and have a view that Notre Dame's not running. They just don't play games with teams in conferences. We are a business partner. That's all.
Lefty Podcast. Let's shift to a celebration of a young man who unfortunately had to end his career at the University of Notre Dame. 6.5 sacks, 57 tackles in his career. Left it all on the field, undersized, but gave you everything he had. And that's none other than Donovan Heinish. His brother preceded him as a captain at Notre Dame. He was a captain this past year. Kurt Heinish, who's in the NFL. You thought that even Donovan, with the same fire, the same tenacity, would have an outside chance of doing what his brother was able to do. And unfortunately, his body just couldn't hold up his end of the bargain to give him that opportunity. It's sad. It's sad, but you have to appreciate young men like that and the type of man he is. Young man, I know he has poured into other young men inside that locker room that will lead to future captaincy for Notre Dame and future leadership for Notre Dame. And so from Lucky Podcast and everybody connected to Notre Dame, big round of applause, big tip of the cap to the captain and someone from a great Notre Dame family. That is Donovan Heinish.
Yes.
Round of applause to you, young man. Continued success in everything you do, eternal favor and blessings upon you and your entire family for everything that you've done. And last but not least, he leaves with a degree from the University of Notre Dame. Lucky Podcast. All right, Left.
Okay, I'm coming.
Little Left. You better feed him, though.
I know, I'm coming.
GTB question. Let's get to it. D-Mont, Mr. Food Lover. What do you guys know about the JMU running back entering the portal and possibly coming to Notre Dame? Is there any truth to this, or is it too early? Honestly, I've been so focused on the high school recruiting. I really haven't tapped into the portal, who's jumped into it. So I would be giving you incomplete thoughts. I'll research him. Speaking of James Madison, shout out to Aiden Gabira, who transferred from Notre Dame and had a fantastic season for James Madison this past year. But other than that, I don't know too much about the young man. I know that quarterback will be a highly sought after quarterback in the transfer portal and dual threat quarterback. But the running back, not too familiar with. Gavin Schmavin, GTB, should Notre Dame go after Cam Coleman or Nick Marsh? Nick Marsh, yes. Cam Coleman, no chance in HE double hockey stick that he's coming to Notre Dame.
No chance?
Not Cam Nolan, not a fit. Cam Coleman's not a fit.
Right. He's kind of like MALIK, though.
He's not a fit. I'm going to just leave it at that.
Oh, okay. All around fit.
Yeah, he's not a fit. What if Chad Bowden offers Mike Mickens the DC position? That's how Chad is. He always wants to come and get, leftovers off the table of Notre Dame.
He sees value in the stimmies.
That's what he does. It wouldn't shock me if he did that. What if he does it? I mean, if he does it, he does it. It wouldn't shock me at all. It really would be sad on his part. I saw a report that they might be looking at Al Golden. I was like, what?
Yeah, save our man Al Golden out of Cincinnati, man.
No, leave him in Cincinnati. No. That's the Bengals. He has Joe Burrow, Mr. Everything. Leave him there.
Hey, sometimes you gotta leave and come back, man.
No, Joe Burrow can solve.
Then Brock did it. Then Brock left and came back.
Hey, boy, I know you had a day yesterday. You were smiling watching that Buffalo Bills game, weren't you?
That was easy work.
Boy, the Josh Allen slander, I was waiting for it. I thought you were going to pop on Twitter.
We know that he's been a fraud. I'm glad everybody is seeing it. They used to give him he's not throwing to nobody, but his defense was always good. Now what? Now that heroic play, I told you got to let that thing play out. I said Jalen Hurts was a top 5 quarterback last year, and I told you Josh Allen was a top 10. Now, fast forward a year later, is MALIK right? Is he looking more like a top 10 guy? Maybe top 15. Okay, I'm just making sure. I'm just saying.
He's
I'm just saying.
he's carrying the Buffalo Bills. That's all I'm saying.
Carrying them where? He's not even the best in his
playoffs.
division. He's not even the best in his division.
Yeah, he's not the best quarterback in his division this year.
Now, how is that possible? How is that possible with a guy that just got there? Josh Allen's supposed to be all world, and he's not even the best in his division. Name a quarterback that was ever better than Pat Mahomes in his division. Never, ever, ever, ever.
Yeah, I still wouldn't take Herbert or Bo Nix over Patrick Mahomes. Even this year, I still wouldn't do it.
Who?
I still wouldn't take, and he's had a down season, in my opinion, Patrick Mahomes. I still would say he's the best quarterback.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, come on, man. Like, you're about to get an MVP on a team in your division, and you're telling me you're a top 5 quarterback? How does Drake May even jump Josh Allen if Josh Allen was a top, what people would say, top 3 guy for, the last 3-4 years? How is that possible? How is that possible? Because his real MVP was a fraud. And Lamar should have been a 3P guy, because there's no way. You're telling me Lamar's been the best quarterback in his division outside of the year Joe Burrow went to the Super Bowl since he's been there.
I don't know. Was Lamar better than Joe Burrow last year? Joe Burrow was pretty darn good last year.
They didn't make the playoffs.
That's true, but he was pretty darn good last year.
He was, but they didn't make the playoffs. But Josh Allen is all world in the worst division in the NFL, by the way. The worst division. And you let a guy come in 2 years and be better than you and win an MVP in your neighborhood? Come on, man. I've been telling you this guy's been a fraud since day one. He got the MVP out of sympathy, and before that, he only had a Madden cover. And all I heard for the last 5 years was, oh, he's a top 3. Oh, he's a top 2. Oh, there's nobody. I'm like, how? What has he done?
That's a good point, Lef. It's kind of like Kawhi going to the finals and winning the MVP of the finals at the same position as a certain player. Lefty Podcast. I get your point. I get your point. That's a great point. Who does that? How does that happen? How does that happen? A guy that plays the same position in the finals wins the MVP, and you're supposed to be the guy. How does that happen? I don't know. Shout out to Notre Dame's new punter, Jasper Scaife. Jasper Scaife, another Australian punter that Notre Dame has found and added to the roster. And hopefully he'll have the same talent, and they'll allow him to punt naturally instead of screwing around with all types of punts.
Do Australians only have punters? Do they have kickers too? Like, can he only punt? Can he kick? I mean, good grief. We went to Australia.
Hey, from what I'm hearing, Notre Dame is really, really digging in the kicking market when it comes to the portal.
What's a kicker going for in the IL game?
At this point, if I'm an agent and I look at the kicking woes in the playoffs that we've seen from the first round, I would venture to say that kicking is at a premium this year because there's a lot of good programs that don't have kickers. It's not just Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah, it's not just Notre Dame.
It's not just Notre Dame. It's not just Notre Dame. There's a lot of programs that don't have viable kickers, and you need those.
Are they making $100,000 in NIL?
Kickers?
Marcus Freeman got to pay over $200 for a kicker this offseason. This is where Mike Martin's got to raise that salary cap.
Oh, Mike Martin might be trying to minimize and balance the books. I don't know. He might be trying to balance the books, love.
He got all these guys on rookie deals. The only guy making money right now.
You're right. There really is no more
rookie deal.
Yeah, Jeremiah Love came off the books.
Yeah.
You're right.
Jadarian came off he was gonna be big on the books next year.
Yeah, if he stayed, you're right. Hey,
Yeah,
speaking of that, shout out to Kevin Austin Jr., Audrey Estime.
Same
Notre
team.
Dame,
Yeah.
same team getting game balls after the game.
That was cool.
Yeah.
That was cool. Name another team doing it. Can't name it.
And did your boy lose his starting job down in New Orleans? Because I saw Tyler Shuck was the one
Oh man.
hitting the rock. I'm just saying. I don't know what's happening.
Tyler Shuck ain't nobody. He'll be all right. But you know how the game go. You can't lose that many games behind a first round pick.
Hey, all I know is it seems like Tyler Shuck is going to be the guy left.
Rattler had to win. Shuck didn't have to win. That's the difference. Meaning Spencer had to get really lucky.
That's your story and you're sticking to it?
It's true. Listen, Tyler Shuck don't got to win no games. They drafted him first round. Spencer had to literally win. He had to be what Caleb Williams is this year. Because he was drafted.
He could never be Caleb Williams.
let's
get it right.
Can Caleb Williams be Justin Fields?
Right.
Can Caleb Williams be Justin Fields?
Look. Don't let us get that defensive side of the ball right.
Oh, yeah, right.
Don't let it happen.
Y'all gave up 22 points in week 16?
You're right.
In week 16? That's not good.
The defense is awful.
To the 49ers?
Awful. The 49ers are like one of the hottest offensive teams, though.
Man, 42 points, and y'all in week 16? Bro,
man, that cat Christian McCaffrey made some moves last night. How many years has that brother been playing?
Shoot.
For him to still move the way he moves.
Yeah.
With as many injuries as he's had.
Yeah. And they not making playoffs.
For the second time, he's about to be the second running back to have 1,000 rushing and 1,000 receiving yards in a season. Two other people have done it. He's about to do it for the second time with two different teams. That's crazy, bro. That's insane, man.
But, you're also getting put in that position. That's just, they giving you the ball, man.
Yeah.
You get lucky enough to get the ball featured to you, you're going to put up some good numbers. It's just what it is.
Yeah. So last week, you guys asked about a guy. I gave you two names of quarterbacks that Notre Dame had done their homework on previously before they offered Teddy Gerard and Peyton Houston. In the 27 class, Gerard comes in early, and he reclassifies to the 26 class. I gave you two names, Malachi Ziegler and Israel Abrams, out of Montini Catholic in Chicago, or the Chicagoland area. And some people reached out and said, man, can we see his film? Because you were raving about his film. So I said, yeah, I'll go ahead and play his film and let Left talk us through it. So this is Israel Abrams, 6'4", 6'5", 190 pounds Left.
It'll probably just be what's the style of offense you gonna run with him? You know what I mean? He's not running a bunch of concepts. It's just like a high impact offense. This definitely fits the Denbrock style of play.
Window throws.
Because you got a lot of downfield stuff. If the play it breaks down, he has the ability to extend plays. He's an exciting player to watch. This is a Denbrock type of quarterback. He doesn't have to be necessarily the headiest guy, as we've seen from Denbrock's offense. I think Denbrock has more success with guys that are just football players, playmaker type of guys. Will wow you every now and again in the game. I think that's more Denbrock's play calling style. He's just gonna put it on your players. He's not gonna give you some elaborate, drawn out scheme type of play. It's gonna be, we're gonna hit them down deep, and we're gonna call some QB runs, And shoot, if it break down, we gonna count on his playmaking ability. That's kind of how Denbrock calls the game. And I think this is a player that can fit that. Uh, I like how he moves, and this is more in line to what fits what we do on offense. We throw it deep, run some deep concepts, run the ball a little bit, do some quarterback stuff. That's about it. So I think this is a good fit of a prospect. Clearly, he's got some elite traits, and I like his size. He's 6'4", right? Like
6'5", 190.
Yeah, Gino go. I would have not been recruited during this time. Gino getting them 6'5" basketball players, man. He getting them dudes that look like him. You know what I mean? Gino a tall guy, so yeah, good choice. This is a guy that can move. See, they're evolving from tall guys who can't move to tall guys that can move a little bit. So it's an added feature you need in college football. It seems like the successful part of it, and they'll be all right.
Yeah, once again, Montini Catholic, 6'5", 190-pound junior quarterback, class of 2027, Israel Abrams. Someone Notre Dame could revisit. They could revisit him and bring him into the fold. Like I said, I was very impressed with this junior film. Wasn't made privy to the information about how his throwing session in the spring with Notre Dame went, but he's been in Notre Dame multiple times, familiar with the staff, and we'll see in Notre Dame if they choose to take a quarterback in the 27 class to replace Teddy Gerard, who reclassified to the 2026 class. He would definitely be a viable and great option, in my opinion, Left. Absolutely great option. His release.
Yeah, you definitely need some different attributes in the room. One, a guy that can challenge, can just challenge the room due to just the unexpected. He can do stuff that you probably can't coach. Some stuff that comes natural that you may need in big games, because at this point, when you're recruiting the top 5% in the transfer portal, or even at quarterback, specifically at Notre Dame, you're just looking for that elite trait that's different. Riley's elite trait was running the football. That's what carried us. CJ's what's his elite trait? You see what I'm saying? That's why I think his whole thing has to be making other guys better, because you can create an offense around a guy that can do something special.
Yeah.
And this kid has enough of I think, juice to make up that 5% of plays that you can't account for but are necessary and big plays in the game. So I think that's what you're having to look for in recruiting. When you're recruiting quarterbacks, do they have that 5% that get us over the hump? We can take any of these guys because they can be a game manager around a bunch of good players. But we need a guy at the quarterback position that just got a 5% difference. Like, is he super quick out the pocket? Does he have a super crazy arm? Like, because all around guys are just not going to cut it in that position.
Yeah.
You got to have something that's like, okay, well, everything's all even. Pull something out the bag. Something like this play. You got to pick up the first down. You got to make this third down. You got to give us something amazing. That's what Jaden Daniel had, So, like the kids, what he's got, I think he's a good fit for what Denbrock likes to do. And he's huge. So,
yeah.
It's rare. I mean, he's moving good, and you're like having to ask his height because he's moving with urgency like a smaller player. Smaller players tend to be a little quicker and move around more in the pocket because they trying to see. Well, he's 6'5" and moving around the pocket pretty quick. Usually you see the 6'5" guys be slow-footed, Kyron Drone type of players. He's like the young guys, getting some athleticism about him. Look like De'Aaron Fox playing quarterback.
Man.
That's what we need, De'Aaron Fox playing quarterback. Just stringy, can do a little bit. Because I don't think Bryce Underwood is that athletic. I just don't think he's I think this kid is more twitchy and athletic than Bryce Underwood. I just think Bryce Underwood is just more polished. But Bryce Underwood don't have no Lamar Jackson to him. He can run around, but he ain't got no Lamar Jackson to him,
Yeah. So, DJ Jacobs, 5-star, number 1 edge rusher in the 2027 class, even though he had a relationship with Gerard that a lot of people may give him a little bit of a lean to Notre Dame, has made his decision, and he's going to be playing football at the Ohio State University. Knew it would be a battle. Felt it would come down to Ohio State, Georgia, Notre Dame. Very interested in hearing some more from people connected to the situation and see where Notre Dame really sat in this situation. And I think it's safe to say that Notre Dame will still try their best to continue to recruit this young man. To absolutely continue to recruit this young man. But I mean, when you go from Jack Sawyer and Tui, and then you go to Kenyatta Jackson, who is one of the top edge prospects in the NFL draft. When you stack NFL prospects like that, you see why a kid like DJ Jacobs is ultimately attracted to Ohio State. That's something that, look, and I said this before, I pointed out who at the time I tried to tell people like, yo, he has a really good relationship with Justin Scott. Like, they talk about playing together. Notre Dame was in on Lightfoot actually before they were talking to Lightfoot before they began really going after Justin Scott. And ultimately they backed off Lightfoot because they felt like Logan Thomas was a better prospect. That's fine. All I know is somehow Lightfoot is playing and making plays in playoff games, and we're still waiting to see what Logan Thomas can do. Now, is that a failure in the evaluation prior to them getting to college, or is it a developmental issue with Logan Thomas not being able to get on the field? That right there leads to DJ Jacobs choosing Ohio State, because where is the development? Where is the top of the line prospect development on the defensive line at Notre Dame? It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. And until it exists, even though the 2 edge rushers they got in 26, high ceilings, high upsides, but they still have to develop. They have to be developed. They have to be developed. I'll be honest, I expected a little bit more from Boubacar Traore. I expected a slow start because of the injury, coming off injury, but I expected him to really kind of dominate towards the back end of the season. Really didn't go. Bryce Young, what is he going to be as he continues to grow? Is this the year Logan Thomas finally steps up? I don't know. Jay Melvin, I'm sure they're going to try. Well, I mean, what do they have to lose? Of course, you continue to talk to him. It's a long way out. Talk to him, see if you can get him to take an official visit over the summer. Absolutely. But somebody eventually is going to have to pop, man. So you can start getting these type of difference-making players to Notre Dame. Ebenezer Utade and Rodney Dunham, fantastic pickups in 2026. Absolutely fantastic. But it seems to be a breakdown somewhere from evaluation to getting these kids to commit to developing them physically, getting them on the field, and allowing them to make a difference. Something needs to happen. Lucky Lefty Podcast. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. It's been great to be back with you guys. We'll be back with you tomorrow. And then we'll take New Year's Eve and New Year's Day off. Of course, brought to you by Bleav Network, courtesy of Bleav Network, Apple Podcast, Spotify. Tap in. Please tap in on the audio side. We appreciate you guys. Continue to support us. And we're presented by FanDuel, FanDuel.com. You go over there, you can get all of your prop bets and your lines for the quarterfinal matchups of the college football playoff and for the remaining bowl games. Download the FanDuel app or simply go to FanDuel.com. So for Left, SD2 Mics, we hope everybody continues to have a great holiday season. And most of all, continue to love on each other and make sure that you spin it
different.